I wonder
Now
why.
we figured it out. I don't know.
Will it shut off if you do it? We talked about this last
Yeah, I don't
time.
know. It's not.
Back to video one.
Back to doing this.
All right,
back
well,
to our roots.
We're live anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's good news.
we're rolling. Welcome to Two Guys in a Podcast.
Two peas in a pod.
Two peas in a pod. We were talking about customer service in this video and the differences that you get from coming here to a family-owned business as opposed to going to like a bigger store like PetSmart, Petco, different businesses like that here. What do you do differently here that they don't do at those big chain stores?
I thought it was about why Big Sal's was better than everybody else and why you should never shop anywhere else. Ain't that what this video
That was
is
part
about?
two.
Oh, part two.
Part
Okay,
two.
back to that.
Yeah.
What do we do different? For starters, we'll answer questions. Back to you, Dave.
All right.
That's the
so,
weather.
he answered my question there. Well, we were just talking before turning the camera on here, and he did say something that I really like, that I do agree with, that they do, and that we have witnessed firsthand from spending time here. And you had said there's no, what was it? There's nothing wasted, or there was no wasted time.
Yeah, there's
in
no
having-
time wasted when you're talking to a customer, even
Yeah.
if they don't make a sale.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, way back at the very beginning. Now, mind you, it's not as easy for me to do this today as it was back in the beginning when I had more time, when we were just starting out. But I remember taking a phone call from a lady. She got our phone number through our website, and she had questions about dubia roaches and building a colony and this, that, and the other. And I ended up being on the phone with her for a good 40 or 45 minutes. I remember when I got off the phone, I sighed real loud. I'm like, "Whew," like, that was a long phone call. It was a long call, but she had so many questions. You know, she just got like her first bearded dragon or leopard gecko or something, and she already had a dubia roach colony, and she was just asking my input on like how to beef up the colony and how to take care of the roaches and this and that and the other. That lady never made a purchase from me. 40 minutes, 45 minutes, she didn't make a single purchase, you know, and a lot of people, especially in this day and age, be like, they're tire kickers, time wasters, and this and that and the other. However, she did ultimately make a purchase. I think it was about a year later that she actually did purchase from us. But in the meantime, she sent us a lot of people, right? And she's out of state. You know, this is someone I've never met in person. I couldn't even tell you her name. It's 2016, 2017. But that one 40-minute conversation probably brought us hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in revenue because of the amount of people that lady sent to us. So there was no wasted time, and more than likely, she probably left us one of our first 5-star reviews on Google or on our website. But she sent us so many people. Some of the people I don't even know that she sent to us. But it wasn't until talking to her like a year later when she actually made the purchase that she said that, you know, she sent this person and that person, and I recognized the names. And it's like, you know, after you're on a phone call for that long and you don't make a sale, it's like, you feel like you just wasted your whole time. You just wasted an hour for nothing.
You were just selling something different at that moment.
Yeah, you know, but it's networking. You know what I mean? So if you always leave people, you know, when you end a conversation and they feel like they gained something, they gained knowledge and input and advice, resources, they gained something, they get off the phone, they're happy with how that conversation went, they're going to send people to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That word of mouth advertising is
word
the
of
best
mouth.
advertising.
And I could kick myself all day like, oh, I wasted that hour of my life I'm never going to get back. But how many customers did I pick up from her for giving her the time and attention that she needed? You know what I mean? She had questions and she had nobody to answer those questions.
Right.
Whether she Googled me or whether she heard my name on YouTube, or something. Somehow she found me and she called me. And we had a long conversation. And, you know, like I said, I'll never get that hour back. And I could feel all day like I wasted my time by talking to her. But, you know, if you go back and look, if I was actually able to look and see how much business I pulled from that one conversation, I didn't lose anything. I gained a lot. And it's not just the money, it's the, I don't even know the word I'm thinking of, but it meant something to her that I was willing to listen.
She'll remember that for forever.
You know, and until this day, she might still be sending people our way. And I don't know, and you don't always know, but more recently, and one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, a couple things I've seen on Facebook recently, it happens all the time, I'm sure you've seen it, but people will go on Facebook and complain, mostly it's Morph Market, oh, these dang tire kickers, they just want all these pictures and this and that and the other where they never make a purchase. Well, one particular post that I read less than a week ago, guy shared a picture of one snake that he has on Morph Market. And a screenshot of his conversation with said customer. And the customer said, can I get one more picture of the head of the snake? And the guy only has one picture of the snake on Morph Market. And clearly you can see the whole body of the snake. And the guy wanted a close-up of the other side of the snake's face. And his response to that was, no, I posted the best picture I could find that shows, you know, the snake in its entirety, take it or leave it, basically. And it's like, he sent one message asking for one picture, and you couldn't be bothered to do that without a sale. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't know if that would have turned into a sale. I mean, he could have taken that picture and said, you know what, definitely thanks for taking the time to send me that picture. I'll buy that snake. And you know what, next month he might buy another one or a group or, do you know what I mean?
That repeat business can go a long way. And I think when it comes to internet sales, and this is kind of hard for some people to understand, but if you go into a pet store, like if you come here and you're looking at a snake to buy, you can hold the snake, you can see the snake, you can see how it reacts to different things. When it's an internet sale, all you have is a picture.
Yeah.
And say that you have 10 snakes and they're all bananas.
Yeah.
And you're selling all 10. And you put just one picture for each of them.
Yeah.
Because they're all banana. Well, they're all still going to somewhat be a little different.
Yeah, they're going to vary.
It never hurts to take multiple pictures of that. You're not going to you're not going to buy a car from just a picture of the headlight. You sometimes need to see the whole thing. It's the same thing with an animal. They wouldn't do it for a dog. Snakes are no different.
Yep.
Put those multiple pictures out there, even a short little video. I don't know if you could do that on Morph Market.
I'm not sure.
But even on Marketplace.
And pictures can be deceiving, you know, because some of these breeders, they airbrush them.
Yeah.
You know, the pictures, the snakes look so much more vibrant, full of color, or they look bigger, or they look smaller, or, you know what I mean? I've bought a few snakes online over the years, and almost every time I'm disappointed with what I get. You know, I'm buying I bought a male boa. He was 4 or 5 years old at the time. And being that he's a young adult, I thought he would be a lot bigger than he was, and based on the pictures. And when I got him, he's in this little box, and I'm like, wait, what? And I take him out. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's like a third of the size I thought he was.
Right.
You know, so pictures can be deceiving, but it's good to talk to whoever produced them. Like Margarita's in the video. You may not be able to see it after the edit, but
I could zoom out real quick
part.
so you can see Margarita, and then I'll zoom it back in when she kind of.
I'm like, ooh, a squirrel. I get so sidetracked so easy. But customer service is so important because, you know, the people that refuse to send a second picture, the people that refuse to answer more than 2 questions, they're the ones that are not going to make it in business, you know? And I don't know if you know this. I don't want to say this wrong. I probably will. But I think it's something like 85 or 90% of all small businesses fail within the first 5 years. And it's like 98% fail within the first 10 years. You know what I mean? In America, I can't remember the numbers. I used to actually kind of study it, and I knew it, but it's been a while since I looked into the numbers. But a giant portion of this country runs on small businesses, right? But a huge percent of people that are going into business will ultimately fail. And I think a lot of the reason behind that is customer service. If you're thinking, I'm only going to do this, that, and the other for this amount of money, or it ain't going to get done, you're going about it all wrong, right? Because I don't make money when I go and drive to pick up our rat food. I don't make money when I go and pick up our bedding for the rodents.
It's an expense.
You know, I don't make money when I sweep the floors. I don't make money when I'm cupping up bugs. I only make money when someone's here and make a purchase and leave.
Yeah.
But all the rest, everything that goes into business, I cannot tit for tat, you know, only do what's going to pay me money. Because it's not, you know. Sweeping the floors is not going to make me any money. But sweeping the floors is going to give our customers a cleaner environment. They're going to be happier. They're going to tell their friends. And it's going to eventually, it'll bring in business just because it's a cleaner place. Do you know what I'm saying?
And not to interrupt you, but on the whole money thing, I was thinking about it earlier too. If you don't run a small family business, sometimes you don't understand. The owners and sometimes even the workers, they don't get paid hourly. So for him to be on the phone for 40 minutes with somebody, he didn't make any money to do that. But for the business he got that came in because of that 40-minute phone call, that's what's paying him for the time that he was on the phone.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, running to get rat food and stuff like that, that's all an expense. It's not, it's coming out of his pocket to drive there to do that.
Yeah.
And if that cash register isn't going, there's no money coming in.
Yeah.
It's all going out at that time.
It's like today. Today's Tuesday. Our store is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. There is no money coming in on Mondays and Tuesdays except for our website, which we don't put so much into our website anymore because most of our focus and most of our customers are local. But on Mondays and Tuesdays, it's kind of different because we spend a lot of money on Mondays and Tuesdays. That's usually when I like to go and buy our bedding and our rat food supplies and things like that. But everything I do throughout the day on Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm not exactly getting paid for it.
Right.
But it like I say, it all comes out in the wash. You know what I mean? The business needs that. The business will need the bedding and the food and this and that. It needs everything to run smoothly. And you can survive or you can thrive, right? And that's for anything. But in a small business, I mean, if you are going into business, it don't matter if you're selling a product or a service or whatever it is, customer service needs to be your top of the line thing. You have to treat people good because that's another thing that's not happening anymore.
No.
People aren't being treated good. I mean, look on Facebook. I've you know, a few years ago, I deleted Facebook off my phone for over a year because everything I read is so negative. And not only is it negative, I get caught up in it. You know what I mean? You're seeing opinions from everybody, and some opinions you don't agree with. So you get in there and you give your 2 cents. To me, that's wasting time. You know what I mean?
It's all a debate.
Yeah.
Facebook. It's just garbage.
People are so negative and crude these days. It's nice to change it with a smile. You know what I mean? A thank you, a please, you know, hold a door open for somebody.
Yeah.
Any simple thing like that can really change somebody's day and it can brighten their day. So, you know, sometimes while we're in the store, a lot of times actually, when I'm walking through, a customer's want to stop me and ask a question. A lot of times I feel bad because I'm in a hurry, I'm doing something in the back. I can't, but my wife's here, you know. There is always someone in the store that's willing to answer your questions, and it's not uncommon for us to have a person or a couple walk in the store and literally sit in here for 2 hours before they leave. Sometimes they'll sit in here for 2 hours with me or Amber or you or a group of us talking to them, answering their questions and asking about this product and that product and this animal versus that animal, and then they might leave and not spend anything.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that sucks. We just gave them like 2 hours of our. We answered every question. They didn't buy nothing. But I don't think of it that way because 9 out of 10 times they come back. You know.
Speaking of that, when we were doing the not this past show, but the show beforehand, there was a family that walked up to us, and they were asking about Bearded Dragons, and they were going on and on with just hundreds of questions. And we stood there, we answered every single question that we could. We showed them the different products that we had at the table for you and everything. They never bought anything. But it gave them the knowledge and the information that they needed to be able to make that decision of, do we want a Bearded Dragon or not? Is this something that we can devote our time to? And it was a couple weeks after the show when you had the other 2 Bearded Dragons. They came and they bought one, and that was their first one.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they wanted to buy it right then. They wanted to talk to multiple people, and I think they had talked to another vendor that was there as well, and they didn't talk to them for very long. They said, I'm not going to throw any names out there, but they had talked to them real quick, and that's all they were doing was pushing that sale.
Yeah.
They're like, well, this one here is this much, this one here is that much. And like, well, you know, how do you set up their tanks? What do they need? And they're just like, well, you know, this one's this much. And they just kept pushing the price and trying to push the sale.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And us, like, my family, my wife and our kids, we come here sometimes, and sometimes we tell ourselves when we're leaving the house, now we're going to be in and out. We're going to grab a couple things, we're going to get our feeders, get what we need, and leave. And it ends up we're here for like 5-6 hours sometimes. And that's just the way it works. But there have been multiple times when we're here. Actually, just happened the other day. 2 different people were here asking about stuff for chameleons. And we were helping them with that. We've helped with Bearded Dragons. We've helped, like if Amber's running the register and she's got a line of customers, and Jimmy's running and getting rats, and you're doing the bugs. We're here helping talk to customers to give them that one-on-one conversation that they came here for.
Yeah.
Something that you're not going to get from PetSmart,
which is
or
cool
like
because
store.
And even our customers are helping other customers. You know, now Dave is my friend. You know that if you've been here any longer than a week. But he's not the only one like this. We have so many customers. We've created, I'd like to think we've created an environment here that is like a family or like a team, where, you know, if everyone's busy, you know, everyone's busy talking to a different customer, sometimes our other customers will step up and help another customer. I mean, we have a couple customers that'll even go run the cash register and ring people out because they have just gotten so
One of
close.
our daughters have done it.
You know, yeah, I mean, and you're talking, what, 14, 15 years old. Jimmy's 12. He'll be 13.
He's 14, 15 years old.
Your daughter?
No,
Oh,
Abby's
13.
11.
11, holy crap.
She's 11, Emily's
What?
10, and Bentley's 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
we've
wouldn't
been friends
know it.
for all
I
these
mean,
years, and I don't even know your kids'
I
age.
know, right?
But you're not going to do that at any of the chain pet stores. You're not going to do that at Walmart, you know?
Right.
Strictly business, strictly corporations, in and out, bottom line, overhead, we want our money, get out of my store. You're not going to have that here. The only time I rush people, and I think some people might think I'm like bipolar, which I am, but
We
you
just
know,
won't tell anyone,
if we
yeah.
close at 6 o'clock on a Saturday and a Sunday. At 5:59, hey, how you doing? You know, 6 o'clock, I'm like, store's closed, you gotta go.
Yeah. And just like that, we have to bring this part to a close, but stick around because part 2 will be out to you soon. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.